Alright, y'all, so in this next section of the MIDI controller series, I'm going to bring out my next MIDI controller of choice, and it's my trusty, old as the hills, Novation Launchpad Mk1. This is the original Launchpad, and as you can see, it's got some hilarious old shiners on it. I've been using this thing for ever. It's an incredible controller, and they have new versions of it now. There's the Mk2, the Pro, the S, the Mini, and the reason I'm bringing this out next is this is a MIDI controller that if you just go and try to plug this thing in right away, you're going to run into trouble because it's not class compliant. What class compliant means is that the MIDI controller needs a driver in order to work with your computer. So you have to go to novation.com and download the USB driver for the Launchpad of your choice. It's super easy. It's just like installing a program. You just download the .dmg file. I'll just go ahead and put the link at the bottom of this video too, in case you have trouble finding it. But I'm going to go ahead and plug this guy in. This has a normal USB 2.0 head on it, so just plug it in right here. If you find that if you did not download the driver, when you plug this controller in, nothing's going to happen. It won't light up. But I've installed the driver, so as you can see, these lights here at the top have shown up. And so this controller is interesting. It has a lot of functionality packed into this little 8x8 64 pad grid plus these little controllers on the outside. You can do so much with this. I mean, this is one of the most common controllers, grid controllers like this or this controller itself you see around. And there's a reason for that. It really helps you navigate session view in Ableton really fast. So then the first button here says session. When I click on this, I can now see my clips. I can see the clips that are armed to play. I can see other clips that exist. If I take a clip and move it, it will give me that visual feedback. And the reason that it's doing that, again, is because if you look in the preferences of Ableton, the Launchpad control script is loaded up. Also, the Launchpad remote and track controls are turned on. Okay? This is important. So that's how we get this visual feedback. I'm going to put this back up here again. Okay, so right off the bat, the Launchpad has a lot of amazing functionality. I can launch a whole scene. I can stop certain tracks. I can launch those, launch other ones. I can stop certain ones. I can launch a scene with no clips in it. And then I can mix and match. Let's say we have clips all over the place in our set. It's just as easy as playing those clips that way. Okay, so it also has some other functionality. It has a whole mixer section. This is really interesting. I can launch this first scene. And as you can see right here, I've got my mute switches available. So I can just mute a track, unmute it. I can select different tracks, arm button, turn that on and off, which is nice. I can solo tracks. Okay. I can stop certain tracks. This is a stop button. And it's really fast to just go back to session and launch things. I can go back to the mixer or back to the session so quickly. Okay. It also has some other really awesome functionality. I've got, in the mixer section, I've got these different pages. Each one of these pages has some interesting features. So they have to do with the track. So I can pan these tracks. You can feel that panning all the way over here, all the way over here. I can pan all three. I've also got volume control. It's interesting stuff. I just realized I panned my voice. The power. Alright, we can also control our send levels. So I'm adding delay, reverb. Yeah, so that's the Novation Launchpad, a very capable controller. You can even set up your own user script, and in this section, I can just use this controller to map any one of these buttons to any of the parameters in Live. So once again, I'm in the MIDI mapping mode right here, and I'm just going to use this to select tracks. I'm just going to put all these little notes on these different tracks here. All right, and now I can look through all these different tracks if I'm in user mode. As you can see, I'm selecting different tracks just using user mode. So you can change the functionality of the controller by using user mode inside of it. This is a very deep controller. There's a lot that you can do with it. Grid controllers are amazing. They work with Live really well. Yeah, so that's the Novation Launchpad.